friends, it's Mehri and welcome to my channel. In this video, I will honestly tell everything about my skin issues, about this journey, what went wrong and what was right. So let's have some water and let's get started. My acne story started when I was a teenager in 2016. And let's be honest, when you're a teenager and you have acne, you think that it's a very normal thing and you think that it's a temporary phase because this is the most transformative and I could say hormonal period of time. So I went to a dermatologist with my acne problems and they made some blood tests and also microscopic analysis of my skin. After that, they also diagnosed that I had demodex. I remember that I was completely disgusted and terrified, but spoiler alert, it wasn't demodex. It was just a wrong diagnosis that also had a wrong treatment because they prescribed me several creams and only topical treatment and suggested to cut out some sugar and fats from my diet. So everything starts with the wrong treatment, and this was the start. I was following most of the recommendations at that period of time, but I wasn't consistent on my diet because I was always eating like fatty things, sugar, but on the top of that, I had also a terrible skincare routine and I didn't use my sunscreen in the country where summer temperature reaches 45 degrees Celsius per day. And I was going out, not wearing sunscreen. I was so chilled, but I also had this very insecurity in me because as a teenager, when you have these kind of problems, and as a girl, when you have these kind of problems, you don't feel confident, you never feel confident, and you don't want to go out. Actually, but I was always out because I had quite many friends. When I turned 18, I moved to Russia to study, and there I tried to find professionals in this sphere. I was looking for different clinics and I found like a cosmetologist, I would say, like a skin professional, if we can say like that. I went there and they suggested me to have some extractions and also peelings, which was actually prohibited because at that period of time I had deep, big breakouts around my whole skin on my face, and this was prohibited and they prescribed me and I went to it, and afterwards I had a very red and bloody face, which was horrible. This made only worse because I had new breakouts afterwards, so that was prohibited. But I did it because I truly trusted that these professionals could help me. I had my lesson, I never went there again, and afterwards I started researching it myself because I realized that I didn't even make my own research online, because at that period of time I wasn't sure if all the recommendations online were legit, so to say. And I started researching. I started reading articles in English, and I started reading different articles from professional dermatologists from the US. And I found out about Accutane. So as I had a lot of breakouts, I was thinking that maybe this could be a solution. At that period of time, my acne reached its worst stage, and I found this large clinic. It was dermatology clinic, and I found a good doctor there. I mean, it was a professional. He was a professional in his sphere. So we talked with him, and he immediately suggested me to start Accutane. And I agreed on it because it was at a very bad stage, you can imagine. I don't have photos from that period of time. Maybe I find them and I just put here and there. So yeah, I started my Accutane journey. The first 2 weeks were so good because my breakouts disappeared immediately, and I didn't have that much dryness on my skin during the first 2 weeks. But after that, my whole body was dry, like Like I never drink water, like I never use moisturizing or something like this. So it was in a terrible condition and my lips were dry so that it was bloody. And this is the worst stage. With time, I could make my skincare better. I improved my skincare. I was using always moisturizing cleansers and moisturizing creams, but it wasn't enough. So I took some omega as well. I remember that I took some omega, but still it wasn't enough. My body was screaming that it needed some hydration because I was taking different dosages during different periods of time for 6 months. So it was a 6-month treatment. I was, though, incredibly happy with the results because it was very quick and I had rarely small breakouts, which I didn't even notice, but I tried to avoid them to notice. But Accutane was like a magic pill and I felt relief. With the side effects like dryness, I also had some other side effects like constant stress. My hair, I had a very long hair and it was very dense and I lost almost half of it. So you can imagine that it's like twice more than this now. Though I still closed my eyes to these side effects and was taking this medication. After finishing Accutane, I wanted to get rid of my acne scars because, as you can imagine, I had very deep and very visible acne scars. And at that period of time, the only option was CO2 laser resurfacing, I think it's called. So it costed a lot. I was thinking about it for a long period of time. I was researching and it was the only option. It had to take almost 2 weeks to recover and also it costed a lot, but eventually I decided to go for it. I only had one session, although most of the people have 2 sessions with some pause in between, and I had only one session. I can say that it was one of the most painful thing I've ever done on my body, and the recovery was really, really long because I was staying at home for like a week. I couldn't go out because I had these big bumpy red face afterwards, and I couldn't go out, and I started a little bit of peeling at home and it was okay, but the result was impressive. Mostly all of them, like my acne scars, disappeared in like 2 weeks only, and I wasn't using any actives as well, so I wasn't educated enough to use any actives during that period of time. I did only this CO2 peeling to remove my acne scars. I can't say that it was perfect, but 80% of my acne scars and marks disappeared. So I would suggest if you have a lot of it, a lot of scars, it will help you, but only if you have time, if you have patience, if you have money, if you have a professional that can do it. So maybe, but I don't give any recommendations here, so it's just my story. For a while, I was happy with my skin. For the first time after several years of having acne, I was happy with my skin. And I followed special diet so that I don't eat much processed food, I don't eat much sugar, and I was generally focused on my lifestyle, on my health, but it didn't last long. After about a year and a half, my acne came back, and it came a lot. I can't say how, I can't describe how to say it. It came bright. I had much breakouts. I had very red face, itchiness, and all of this came back. This time I went to a private dermatologist. I thought that if I pay more, maybe I will get rid of it forever, but spoiler, I didn't. And but I can say that this dermatologist was one of the better ones because she didn't rush to put me on medication, We started with topical treatments, but yeah, it didn't help. Topical treatments never helped me, though everybody, like, use differine or tretinoin and they get rid of their problems, but even tretinoin didn't help me. Topical treatment didn't help me. Then I had to take antibiotics, also didn't help me. Then I started taking Accutane again after a year and a half. So yeah, but this time I had to take Accutane for 8 months with different dosages during different periods of time. I don't want to specify dosages because everybody's body is different. You have to really go to a professional to take any medication. This medication is very strong. It is bad. It has many side effects, but it can also cure you, but you can't make it alone. So just a disclaimer, this is my story and I don't share and I don't recommend anybody with this treatment. One of the things that I liked during this process, the second time taking Accutane, before that, nobody told me about root causes or they failed in it. But this dermatologist I found, she said that my problem is probably my genetics, because she asked different questions about my family, if my mother or father or like siblings have the same problems. And I said that my mother suffered from acne during her youth. And she said that it is highly possible that I have acne because of my genetics. And I found it true, because if I had any other reasons, I would solve it, but no other reasons. I mean, I couldn't find any other reasons. So I agreed on that. I really think that genetics can be either a problem or a big present in your life. And this time I just didn't want it. So I had to cure it myself. This time we treated my acne marks with a very light therapy, which didn't require any recover or other like things. It was very light and I was very, very happy. I'm not sure about the name, but I think it's called BBL Forever Young, which has this a little bit of laser, but not too harsh as CO2 laser. So you just go there for a treatment. It lasts not so long, and it has these impulses to, focus on your acne mark or acne scar. After like 5, 6, or maybe 7 sessions, I really noticed the result. I had, I think, my best skin during that period of time with that doctor, and I'm really grateful for that. But now she lives in another country and I live in another country. So yeah, after 8 months, I was done with my treatment. I was done with my sessions. It costed again a lot. I'm really sure that if I collect all the money that I paid for my acne treatments, overall, I could buy a car maybe, because it costed a lot, but it's worth it. But not for a long period of time in my case. I moved to Vienna in 2022. So approximately in March 2023, I started breaking out again. It was again the same problem. I was very desperate this time because I was alone. I was very stressed out because of my studies, and because at that period of time I was spending most of the time with myself. It came back and it was more, it became more and more. Whenever I was thinking to go to a dermatologist, I was thinking about the process I went through during the first 2 treatments of Accutane. So I decided again to maybe try some dieting, cut out all the processed food, sugar, gluten, lactose, and to try to avoid taking medication this time. Because I know that if I go there, then it will again start. So the medication will start. So I started researching. I was always on my computer reading different papers, trying to find solution without taking Accutane this time, because I thought that it is very bad for my body to constantly take Accutane. So I went to this diet with no lactose, no sugar, no gluten. I was always checking if a product has gluten inside. And whenever I go out, for example, I meet with my friends and they eat some, cake or drink latte or something like this. And I was like, okay, this time again, I will drink either tea or Americano. And I was always drinking black coffee or tea, and that's all. And at first it was hard, but with time I got used to it. I even liked my recipes because whenever you have this kind of situation, you find alternatives. So I tried to bake sugar-free stuff, desserts at home, or eating salads, rucola, products that are full of vitamin C, vitamin A. Yeah, I researched it and it lasted approximately 2 months. I can't say it was easy, but it was doable, so I made it till the time that I noticed that there was no difference. There was no difference on my skin, on my maybe body, because I lost some kilos at that period of time. I think it was because of stress as well, because I wasn't eating much, but because I couldn't eat what I wanted, so I was eating less. And yeah, but on my skin, on my face, there was nothing to, that nothing improved. And I went to doctor in Vienna with my insurance. I forgot to tell you. So I was using also actives during this period of time. I was using BHAs, AHAs. I was watching TikToks that recommended me products that didn't work for me, but they were for another problem, but they were recommended as it was for acne or something. So you should check it. I was checking it, but I was checking it wrong. I was using these peelings at home, AHAs, BHAs, very much actives together and not properly hydrating my skin. This was one of the worst things that I could do for my skin, and I did it because I thought that maybe if I use the serum, then it will go out or something like this, but it didn't. So yeah, it was very harsh. My whole face, I have photos from this period of time. You can find a lot of them. My whole face was like full of breakouts. I was constantly stressed. I couldn't look at my face whenever I looked at the mirror. I was trying to avoid it. The problem was that big. Then I went to a doctor, but I talked to him. I said, I don't want to take any Accutane again because I had already my session and it should have worked, but it didn't. It was only for a short period of time. And he said that it was only one decision. But before coming to him, I researched a little bit. I looked at the videos from other, I don't remember, influencer or content creator. She talked about spironolactone. It was, I think, something, I will write the explanation here. So whenever you take spironolactone, you don't have any acne problems. And I thought maybe spironolactone would be better for me. And he prescribed spironolactone. Afterwards, I didn't see any results. I was using it for like approximately a month, and it was worse and worse, and I just went for another Accutane treatment. Again, the same thing, but this time I was already experienced. I knew about all the side effects. I knew that I will lose again my hair, I will lose my hydration, that I have to take care of myself from within and out. And this was a very difficult decision. For the first time in my life, I had anxiety. I had a big stress because I didn't want to start Accutane again. And I remember that I had a panic attack because I had to take that decision again. So my panic attacks were because of that. So this is a very sensitive topic for me. So I went to this dermatologist, which was on my insurance. If I go here for a private dermatologist, it will cost me a fortune. Like the whole treatment will cost me one visit of dermatologist. So I said to myself, okay, let's go with this doctor because I still need to take Accutane, it doesn't matter. So I went to this doctor, we talked about it, and he prescribed me. And this time we were intended to have I was intended to have 1 year session of Accutane, but only with one dosage uh, during the whole period of time. So yeah, in the end, I was taking again Accutane. This time I didn't have much dryness because I was already prepared. My routine completely changed. I was using always hydrating toners, hydrating serums, hydrating creams. I was taking care of my body. I was taking care of my hands because I had some itchiness on my hands as well. This time I wanted to avoid it, and he prescribed also some creams that really helped me during this period of time. And I also tried to hydrate my scalp because I had itchiness on my scalp, and I was using very high quality shampoos which you can buy only in the pharmacy. But life has surprises, and my body this time couldn't handle it because I was having a lot of dizziness and I couldn't even work because whenever I was moving too fast, everything was like I was feeling that I was blind. So to that stage, I had health issues and I had to stop this treatment. This was my first treatment that I gave up on. And we are coming to another session of Accutane, which I started last year. No, this year in April I started. I started in April 2025 because it came back because I didn't finish my previous session. I think like everybody knows that if you don't take the dose that you have to take during Accutane treatment, then it will come back for sure. So I started another treatment. This time is going very smooth, that I don't really feel it, and I still take my Accutane. At the same time, I use azelaic acid 3 times per week. It is also prescribed by my doctor to prevent acne marks and acne scars. I'm using a lot of sunscreen this time. Sunscreen has been my friend since the second treatment, but I'm using sunscreen and I protect my skin, I hydrate it. I try to be patient in this journey. I don't feel stressed this time. My hair is much better this time because I know how to take care of it. So it is going really nice. What I don't do during this treatment, I don't use much chemicals. I don't do heat training because it can have a negative effect on your treatment. I do hydrate my lips and my skin in the morning and in the evening. I do LED mask therapy. I started doing red light therapy, but whenever I had breakouts, I was doing blue light therapy. Blue light actually works because it really kills that bacteria you have on your skin, but it helps for a short period of time, and you want to get rid of it for a long period of time, then you can find your own treatment. It's really like you have to consult with a dermatologist. That was it, and I hope that less people will suffer from this problem, and there will be other treatments that will not have that much side effects that Accutane has. If you are living through this problem, this is very temporary until you find your own solution with your doctor. Please do not treat it by yourself because this can be like a very bad mistake I had during this chemicals and at-home peelings and BHAs, AHAs. You should consult your doctor and be healthy. So take care of yourself, and I'll see you on my next video.